Hello, good evening students. I am Professor Shriram Kargaonkar, and in this lecture I will be teaching you parametric and non-parametric test and the difference between them. So this is a part of second paper of continuous probability distribution and testing of hypothesis of FYBSc Computer Science. So introduction. In this testing of hypothesis, there are two types of test: parametric test and non-parametric test. In this lecture we are going to understand the difference between those. Along with we will discuss the list of parametric and non-parametric test. So let's understand first what is parametric test. So statistical procedures that are interval or ratio scaled distributions with normal distribution. So for this kind of test, it must be, for parametric, it must follow the normal distribution. Okay. Then non-parametric test, statistical procedures that use nominal or ordinal scale and make no assumption about the distribution of the population. So one simple thing which comes in our mind, which is very obvious, is parametric test distribution must follow sampling distribution must be normal, whereas for non-parametric test sampling distribution there is no such assumptions regarding it. Okay, so let's understand briefly the difference between those two. So parametric test used for ratio or interval scale data. Non-parametric test is used for ordinal or nominal data. Then parametric tests are used for normal distribution, just like we have seen in the last paper, and non-parametric tests are used for any distribution. So mean is casual, mean is usual central measure, whereas median is the usual central measure for non-parametric test. Information about population is completely known in case of parametric test, whereas there is no information about the population in non-parametric test. In parametric test, specific assumptions made regarding population, whereas non-parametric tests are assumption-free test. So there are no assumptions, no suppositions in the non-parametric test, but there are suppositions, assumptions in the parametric test. So certain things are very clear. Now let's try to understand what is a nominal and ordinal scale. So ordinal scale means what? Rank. You can give rank as first, second, third. Then nominal data means gender or marital status, male or female, means you can categorize the things. Then ratio scale. So a ratio scale has all properties of an interval variable. Okay, so what is interval variable? An equal or definite interval between the two measurements. Okay, so this is a short description. I have made a separate video for scales of measurement, so we'll discuss in that. So types of parametric test. So there are different types of parametric test are there: one sample t test, pair t test, two sample t test, z test, f test. Then non-parametric test. So I discussed about, these are the distribution free tests because they do not make any assumptions about the normality or variance of the data. Examples are, we'll discuss the examples in the next slide. So situations for the non-parametric test: when quick data analysis is required to have a rough idea about how the things are working with data, when only comparative rather than the absolute values are available, as in case of clinical data. Okay, for example, patients can be categorized as better, unchanged, or worse. When the data is available is non-parametric nature, then you can use non-parametric test. And one of the last situation is when data does not satisfy the assumption of a parametric